Hi everyone! This is a class I've really been looking forward to because it's a slow asana practice. Often that's associated with easy yoga, but actually it isn't, and it really goes to the essence of what yoga is all about. I'll talk much more about that, but first let's in shavasana bring the hands onto the chest and stomach and start noticing the breath. Just breathing your normal breath, trying not to change it in any way, which is actually quite a hard thing. Just noticing the coming and going of the breath. That is the breath that you want to find again and again in all the postures we go into. So remember it and how it feels. Stretch out your arms, point your fingers, point your toes, and then guide your arms over to the left side, guide your legs to the left side as well, so that you're starting to feel a stretch into the right side of the body. And that doesn't have to be very deep. In fact, it shouldn't be. We're just starting to feel our body, get our body ready with a few nice and gentle stretches over to the other side. And you could bring one ankle on top of the other, but that's just one of many options. And then we come back to center, feet to the ground, knees high. And maybe you want to bring your arms next to the head here. Drop your knees to the left side. You could, if you wanted to, bring your left foot on top of the right knee. What you want to do is have the feet far apart as you drop, and then same on the other side, feet far apart, maybe right foot on top of the left knee. Just a little bit of a stretch into the left side and hips, so quite similar to that one from before as well. Then right knee on top of the left, so knees on top of each other. You can intertwine again if you want. Drop the knees to the left side, head to the right, to feel a stretch still in the right side, but also that twist of the spine. And then, come back and change sides. As you can see, I'm sort of shifting my hips over to the left. That makes it a little bit deeper. That works for me. It might not work for everyone. So be comfortable just where you are and feel your breath. So you don't want that breath to change. You don't want it to become something else. And then back and onto the back. Hug the knees in towards you. Maybe hands underneath. With the head going up, that's a little bit deeper if that's what your spine craves. Otherwise, just hug the knees in, rock from side to side. So it doesn't matter where the hands are. Now hook your right big toe over the left, and then hands onto the knees. Draw circles so that the knees come in, out, down, and in, away from you. So just circles. Feeling the hips, feeling the inner thighs, and then change direction. But before you do that, hook your left big toe on top of the right, and then changing direction, going out, away from you, in and down. And then hug your knees in, bit of space between the knees so that you can move into your feet, all your toes and your ankles. And then reach for your feet. This is one that could look very, very different. Lots of people aren't able to reach for the feet and keep the neck and shoulders comfortable. So anywhere where I've just shown, hands to the ankles, calves, backs of the thighs is also fine. Just pushing the knees out and down and flexing the feet up. And how that looks in the end does not matter. And this 90-degree angle that you can see me doing is not necessary. It's just about how it feels in your hips, in your inner thighs, in the hamstrings and the calves, and obviously stretch into the Achilles tendon there as well. And slowly release, raising the arms and legs, moving gently into the hands and into the feet. So that's all your fingers, all your toes, and your wrists and your ankles. And then hands underneath the knees, hug them in, send them to the back, and come up to seated. And then cross your legs, sit nice and comfortably, and immediately bring your outer foot in towards you, just because that's a side we don't normally do. So it'll be a little bit different. Straight spine, shrug your shoulders. Inhale and raise your arms. And exhale, pull your left wrist over to the right side. Start guiding the chin in a little half circle from one shoulder to the other, and then over to the other side, pulling your right arm over to the left side, and move into your neck. Back to center, push the elbows down, a little W shape as you squeeze the shoulder blades, look up and down. keep holding that W shape. Squeeze your shoulder blades, reach the arms to the front, pull your left wrist over to the right side, keep the head dropped, keep your back rounded, and then pull your right wrist to the left side. Just warming up in a way that should feel good for you. If it doesn't, then change. You can always adapt. Roll up through the spine, and then from here, eyes closed if you want, roll your shoulders forwards up to the back and down, drawing big circles, comfortable circles. And hands on the ground is quite nice because then you can see how they're raising and lowering. And then from here, come onto all fours and bring the knees a little bit further out, maybe knees about mat distance, feet together, and then inhale, raise your right arm, breathing into the right side of the body, just feeling that expansion in the rib cage. And then on an exhale, no rush, guide your right arm over to the left side. You could bend that arm, you could rest your head on your right hand or forearm, and that left hand might support you on the ground, but could also go elsewhere. And then other side, left arm goes up, reaches high, we breathe into the left side of the body, and on an exhale, whenever that is for you, guide that left arm over to the right side. Do with the right arm whatever feels good in your body, because there's no right or wrong, and sometimes the things we see other people do are not aspirational for us, they shouldn't be. Coming back slowly and into child's pose, still wide-legged here. And then we round our back as we come up, and we bring our knees together and the feet apart. Inhale and arch, and then exhale, round. Breathe in, arch, raise the head. Breathe out, round, drop the head. Inhale, raise your right leg, foot towards the head, stay. As you exhale, use that left hand to reach for the right foot and look to the left, maybe all the way to the back. Your right arm is supporting you here. You want it to be strong. And stay and breathe. Remember that breath from the beginning when we were lying in shavasana, observing the breath. If your breath can't come back to something quite like that, then maybe you need to change the posture. But we're coming out now anyway. Round your back as you release. Move the hips from side to side. Then on your next inhale, raise your left leg, arch your back, look up. As you exhale, bring your right hand to the left foot. Look to the right side, maybe all the way to the back. And stay and breathe. And that natural, spontaneous breath really doesn't need much. It doesn't need to feel deep, it's deep enough. As we stay, the pose becomes something else, becomes less about what it is, but more about how it feels. Release, round your back, drop the head, move the hips side to side if that's nice in your body. And then tuck your toes under, raise your hips, and start gently walking the heels into the mat, one by one. And you want to be careful there, it needs to work for you. It's never about how close the heels actually get to the ground. They could be high, we could keep our legs bent. In fact, for a moment, maybe bend your legs a little bit so you can focus more on straightening the arms and the spine. And getting as long as you can, raise your right leg. Keep pushing your shoulders to the back. Flex your foot, drop your heel to the buttocks and push that knee up. And then on an exhale, step your right foot to the front. Drop your hips, raise your right arm. So this in itself is a beautiful posture. We don't have to go anywhere else, but if it's too much, drop your left knee to the ground. You could deepen. Maybe you could bring your left arm around that right leg. Right arm drops behind you, and then you could hold on to your right hand from underneath that right leg with the left hand. Could also be your wrist or your forearm. And then see where you're looking. You could look to the back, you could look up to the ceiling, And every way that you're changing where you're looking will change the way that you're balancing here. And of course, if you've got your left hand on the ground, you can play with your gaze as well, making sure that your neck is comfortable here. Don't overstretch in any way. And keep holding for a little bit longer. Release slowly. And look to the front. Raise your arms, straighten your torso. You may come higher. Come a little bit higher if you want. Be somewhere that you can hold. Remember, this isn't about nailing a posture. It never is. It's about being in the posture, letting it unfold, letting it become something else, feeling your body, awareness of the body, and body and breath together. So as you're staying here and you feel your body work, you're allowed to feel the body work hard, but listen to your breath. Always be aware of that breath. As your pranic response, the response that's not just the breath. The breath is the first thing, but pran is much more than that, is everything that the breath influences. Not just the body, but your brain as well. Not just short term, but long term as well. And that's why it's so important to be aware of the breath. Slowly opening up into Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana. So we want to look to the front, palms typically facing down, hands in line with the shoulders. So keep your arms active, keep your shoulders active, and then push your right knee out a little bit. That really helps to be active here in the legs as well. You want to push that left hip to the back, open hips. Changing anything that doesn't work for you. So open hips doesn't mean they have to look like mine or have to be more open than mine. It just means that you are somewhere where you feel that you're opening up. Gentle push of the right knee to the right side. Gentle push of the left hip away towards the back. And right toes face the front. Left toes face the side. And again, it doesn't really matter here either whether that angle of the left, whether all left toes are facing the left side, or if that's maybe a little bit different for you. Alright, now slowly drop your right arm. Right forearm could land on your right leg. Right hand could come onto the inside or even the outside of that right leg, and your left arm can drop behind you. Again, there's the option to bind here. We may look up. We may change our position of the head in case that's uncomfortable. And if you're not binding and that top arm is going to the front, you might look towards those fingertips, open the palm to the ceiling. That gives you a nice feeling of rotation there from the shoulder. Kind of the opposite of what we're doing when we're sitting at a desk. But again, there's lots of different options here for Utthita Parsvakonasana or extended side angle. It's more about being in one of them and then sticking to it. And feeling that breath. Slowly release. Right arm to the outside of the right leg. We step to the back and walk it out. Lovely long legs and arms and spine in Parvatasana or mountain pose. Often also called, as you will know, downward dog, but also triangle. Now raise your left leg nice and high. Keep your shoulders from coming forwards. Drop your foot, but you want to flex that foot. Drop it to your buttocks, raise that knee higher. Keep pushing your shoulders to the back. And very active pose here. Step your foot to the front, drop your hips, but not your knee, at least not yet. And then raise your left arm, look up to the ceiling. Immediately decide if this posture works for you, or if you maybe want to drop that knee to the ground, or if you want to take it into a deeper variation of this twisted lunge by binding, again, bringing that right arm around the left leg. But please choose the posture that works. And on this side, I'm showing a variation that is different, so you don't think that the one that I did on the other side is the standard for it. That's not the better posture. It's just a different way of experiencing the pose. Again, lots of different options. I'm just showing some of them. And keep breathing. That's all we're here to do. Awareness of the breath. Awareness of the posture, where we feel the body, how we're working into the body. So bodies are so different. We're very different in the ways that we're perceiving things, and you are the only person who can actually feel what is going on in your body. No one has that experience, just you. So it's important to do what feels right in your body. Release. Knee off the ground, on the ground, whatever works. Raise your arms, straighten the torso. Again, whichever you want. And try to straighten that back leg, but not at all cost. Be comfortable where you are. Sink into that left leg. This posture is often called crescent pose. But actually, the Sanskrit word for it is Ashva Sanchalan Asana. Ashva Sanchalan. Ashva is the horse. Sanchalan means movement. So it's like a galloping horse. It's obviously a snapshot because we're in a long held posture. And the idea of asana is to really allow yourself to arrive asana posture, holding a posture in stillness. Traditionally, those were postures that were grounding. So seated postures that were designed to ground you, make you one with the earth, open up into Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana, and just to be a little bit different here, to raise your awareness of what's going on in this posture, open the palms to the ceiling here, still looking to the front. You could close your eyes here as well, if that feels doable. It might be that you feel wobbly. Remember to push that left knee out. And on this side you can see we want to have both butt cheeks in line with each other, both hips in line with each other. Or we want to aim for that, to push them towards that. If our hips aren't capable of that, that's fine. Doesn't necessarily have to do with flexibility. It's also skeletal structures that play a role. Closing the eyes here will mean a completely different awareness of your body, different senses being used. You may know that we have many more than the 5 senses that Aristotle actually talked about already. So it goes back quite a while. Drop your, and I would say open the eyes for that, drop your left arm onto the left leg. Maybe you're low enough to bring that left arm or hand onto the ground. Maybe you're deep enough to bind your hands behind you. So it could be that your left hand is holding onto your right hand, right wrist, right forearm. Go somewhere that feels good for you. If that bind isn't for you, don't go there. It's nothing that we need to force. It's in no way better than holding elsewhere, than bringing the left forearm onto the left leg. Just keep the shoulders on top of each other, that is all. Shoulders on top of each other. Imagine leaning against a wall, leaning into that wall behind you. You could also imagine a very, very big and tight a yoga class where you don't even have the whole of your mat, but less than that. So you want to keep as much space in sort of that 2-dimensional room. So not letting your shoulders drop to the right side, not pushing your hips to the left side of your mat. And holding where you're comfortable, and then slowly release. Again, that left hand is on the outside of the left leg, and we step the left foot to the back into our mountain or triangle or downward dog, and then drop your knees and come into child's pose. We come up and make our way back into Padmasana, mountain pose. Long arms, long legs as well, but again, could be a bend in them. Breathe in, raise your right leg. Nice and long. And then step forward. Left heel to the ground. you may have guessed, we inhale and raise the arms and torso. And on an exhale, we sink down into that right leg. We pull our right hand over to the left side and drop it. Maybe binding the hands if that's possible. Otherwise, you could just bring your left hand to the right elbow. Anywhere is good. You want to also push your left hip a little bit to the back, aligning the hips towards the front. Again, not worrying about how it looks. And as you can see, my left foot is at an angle, not that angle that we had in Warrior 2, which makes it easier, right? If that foot guides the way out, then the hip will naturally follow. So bring the toes a little bit further forwards. That'll make it easier for you to adjust. But make sure that back knee is comfortable. We always want to be good to our knees and the rest of the body as well. And you could close the eyes here too, if you wanted. So the two crucial senses that yoga uses, that spark movement and balance and let us know where we are in space, are proprioception and equilibrioception. It's also called that vestibular sense of gravity. So it's just many of these senses we may not have heard about. They're not part of our general vocabulary, like touch, sight, sound, you know. Release and raise the arms, open the eyes, look up, and then hands to the heart center. Shift your weight forwards, raise that left foot off the ground. Keep your right leg bent if you can. Stay there, sinking into that right leg. I know that's tough, but stay, feel your breath, connect with that breath. And then you may straighten that right leg and point the left toes to the back. Arms could go to the back, but you want to make sure that the shoulders don't drop. So whatever the hands are doing, the shoulders don't drop. They reach up, up, up towards the ceiling. We stay and hold in Warrior 3. We might slowly come down. This is just an option. As the leg goes up, the hands come down. Drop your head. Don't worry about how you're looking now. Bring the hands to the ground, maybe onto blocks if you have them. You might bend that supporting leg. You might not get that left leg as high. That's completely fine. It's not about how it looks. It's about relaxing your whole spine and getting a little stretch into your hamstrings. And then from here, I know that's tough, grab hold of your left foot with the left hand, bend your right leg a little bit, slowly come up. And there is an option where you just come into a forward fold, then come to standing, and then from standing, grab hold of your foot. So that is absolutely fine, not a problem at all. Push that right palm away from you. This is Natarajasana, Lord of the Dance. Nat is that root and means dancing. But this is Shiva, and actually he's often called the Lord not just of the dance, he's Lord of performers, because he can slip into any role. And he masters everything. He is teaching the Vedas to wannabe sages who wanted to get rid of him, actually. Now slowly release, hands to the ground, left foot to the back, right foot to the back, knees on the ground, come into child's pose. I think a well-deserved child's pose. It's not easy to hold postures for long. Lots of people think that the style of vinyasa, practicing your asanas very fast, is the hardest. And it is in many ways, you know, very challenging for for cardio. Also, you need to know these postures very well. Come back up into Parvatasana, but holding provides a whole different challenge. Left leg goes up, we stay, we lengthen, we feel that length from the fingertips all the way to the toes, and step that left foot to the front, right heel to the ground, come up into Virabhadrasana or Warrior 1. Again, we'll this time grab hold of the left hand, guide it over to the right side and let it drop, bringing the right hand to our left elbow, or binding the hands behind us. This is, with the top part of Gomukh Asana, or the cow face or cow's mouth pose. We close the eyes here, and playing with our sense of how we know where we are in space without using the eyes. Now more important than ever, because we use them quite a bit, don't we? There's such a thing as electricity. We've had it for a while. And because of it, we don't give the eyes a rest when the sun goes down, or start when the sun goes up. Some of us are, awake for their sins before the sun goes up. Nightmare for me, I'm not a morning person. But it really does change our senses. It exhausts the eyes that need a break, but it also doesn't hone the other senses that we've got. For example, that sense of balance. It's not just about the eyes. Of course they play a part, a really important part, which is why it's challenging in postures to close the eyes. But here we're working with that inner ear, our inner ear, which is very much responsible of our sense of balance. That's why it's called vestibular system. It's a vestibule, a chamber in our inner ear. It has a lot to do with why we can't balance when we're drunk, because the viscosity of the liquid in there changes, and that kind of changes the way that we're balancing. And yeah, proprioception. A lot of people don't have that sense of where they are in space. And that's why they need to touch things around them, sometimes things, sometimes people, to make sense of the world that way. And I love our language. We're saying making sense. Why do we say that makes sense? I digress. Open the eyes, raise the arms, look up. And then hands to the heart center on an exhale. Shift your torso forwards, nice long spine. Don't drop your hands. You want to feel your thumbs in touch with your chest. And then raise that right leg. Maybe sink into that left leg a little bit or a lot, whatever works for you. Flex that right foot. So it's obviously harder to sink into the leg like that. So if that's too much, change. If you want more, go a little deeper. And then straighten the leg, point the toes. Arms can go to the back. There's different things you can do here with the arms. It's more about alignment and deciding where you want to be than it is about what posture you choose. And awareness of the breath, as always. You might slide the hands further down. You can do this slowly, or you can just drop the torso down, hands to the ground now. Raise that right leg as high as you can. And of course, you can adapt here. This is not how the standing splits look or need to look. In fact, in Sanskrit, it isn't called the standing splits. It's not about how long the legs get. Ek pad prasarit paduttanasana. It's a mouthful. I just realized that it is. And then from here, grab hold of your right foot with the right hand, bending that left leg a little bit if you want. Rise, and again, if you want to come into a forward fold here, and then from there up to standing and into that beautiful Nataraj Asana, Lord of the Dance. It's actually Shiva also dancing on the demon of illusion, delusion, false memories. And it's easy to see how we can let go of that in ourselves, right? It's really hard to have our overthinking mind be in overdrive right now when we're trying very hard to balance and stay here and be in a good posture for us. So all of this is going on. We're pressing that left palm away. The whole body is aware. The whole body is here with intention. So how can the mind be as active in mind chatter and all of that stuff that we don't need to think about when we're concentrating on this task at hand? And that's essentially currently your meditation. Release the hands to the ground, step the right foot to the back, step your left foot to the back, drop the knees to the ground if they're not already there, and then push the hips to the back. You could tuck the toes under, you could come into your normal balasana or child's pose. Child as well as baby. So Anand Balasana, happy baby. There the bal is translated as baby, because it looks more like a baby. And here child's pose, actually relating to Shiva as well. Maybe another time. For now, we're coming up again. Tuck the toes under and raise your knees. Push your hips and shoulders forwards, coming into a plank. Now hold that plank. Don't drop the hips. Don't raise them too high. You want a straight line. Push into your hands, into your shoulders. Get the arms long. Space between your shoulder blades. Keep your neck relaxed. Whatever that means for the head. And then close your eyes and allow yourself to drop the knees to the ground whenever this gets too much. Doesn't matter for which body part. We're not here to nail a posture. We're not here to become better. Again, knees to the ground, I should have said it now, is an option. But we're not here to become better, to master the posture. We're here to learn how something feels in the body. The posture is just a means to an end. This is about you learning to control the body, learning to listen to the body. Eyes open for this one. Raise your right arm, send it to the front, push your hips up high. If you want, left lower leg can come to the ground, left forearm could come to the ground. Doesn't have to be that full side plank. I often say in my classes, these different variations of side planks are, many are named after sages. So let's be wise here as well and choose a side plank that works for us. Don't overdo it. Be sure that your left shoulder can handle this. And again, staying in a posture becomes a whole different thing. It doesn't become about, can I do this? But how does it feel as a whole? And is that feeling in the body, a feeling that we want? Coming back into our plank, raise your left arm. And I'm being nice to you that I didn't hold this plank again. And you want to send that left arm to the front for a deeper stretch into your side. You might not want that. Keep it where it is. You can do something else with the legs as well. One foot in front of the other. Further forwards as well if you want, just to give yourself a little bit more balance if it's needed. The ultimate aim is staying where you are. Staying where you feel comfortable enough to hold. Where you know you're not doing harm to your body. Because that would just be unwise, wouldn't it? And in Ayurveda, we call this crimes against wisdom, when we know we shouldn't be doing this. Because we have that inherent wisdom, but sometimes we choose to ignore these things, don't we? And we all do it. We all do it all the time. Come back into your plank. And drop your knees. Drop your chest and chin. Or keep the knees on the ground as you drop chest and chin. And hover. In Chaturanga Dandasana. Again, you could start here in this low plank, Chaturanga Danda. So Danda is that plank pose. Cool, we're coming up already. Well done. Drop your hips, raise the chest, long arms, maybe just hands and feet on the ground. So you want to press the legs off the ground, but keep pressing the hips down. So not at the detriment of the hips going up, rather pushing the shoulders to the back. But if it gets too much, come all the way down. We're going to join you here and come into a cobra or a Bhujanga Asana. Looking to the right side, maybe all the way to the back. You want to have your hands next to the chest, elbows in. Looking to the left side and all the way to the back. And as you look to the sides, the elbows don't change. They don't go out. They stay close to the body. And then push yourself up and to the back into a little well-deserved balasana or child's pose. This is said to be the sage Kartikeya witnessing the end of the world, the end of the universe as we know it. Mountains crumbling into the sea. And he thinks it's the end of everything. But then he sees a little banyan leaf and a baby in it, and that baby is Shiva. And this child's pose is representative of that. That's Shiva in the banyan leaf. Bring your right knee forward, wiggle the hips around a little bit, decide where your right foot wants to be. Could be close to your hip, could be closer to your crotch. And then hands to the right side, so you're twisting a little bit. Totally optional, grabbing hold of that left foot with the right hand and pulling it in towards you. And maybe staying where you are, hands on the ground to support you. Head gently over to the right shoulder. You could drop towards your collarbone as well. And stay. Again, if you wanted to, just demonstrating again, you could hold on to that foot. But again, it's completely optional. Don't overdo anything just because you think this is what you should be doing. Just because I'm giving an option doesn't mean you have to go for it. And again, remembering the breath will tell you if anything needs to change. The breath is good that way. We just need to listen to it. Breaths are shallow. They're a bit faster than they should be. And slowly come back to center. Straighten your torso here. Look up to the ceiling. If that gets too much, of course, adapt. And then bring your left foot to the front, to the outside of the right leg. Bring your right arm around the leg or to the outside of the leg. Here's another option for a bind. That bind is maybe a little bit deep, so it's completely optional. Just left hand behind you, could be on your right waist, could be on the ground, close to you though, not further to the back so that you don't drop backwards. And here's another option, just right hand on that left knee or thigh. So you're pulling that knee in and gently twisting in a way that feels good for you. Bottom line, spine should be straight as we're twisting. And also make sure your neck doesn't overexert itself here. And slowly come back to the front. A little twist the other way with looking down, hands at the back there. And then come back, so just for a moment. And then we bring our left leg to the back, hands to the ground so the right leg can come back to the back. And move a little bit into the back, into the hips. And then slowly, comfortably bring that left knee to the front. So knee closer to the left hand, foot closer to the right hand. But within that, it really doesn't matter where you go. It needs to be right for the hip. It needs to be a lovely glute stretch as well. This is not just about the hip. And then we open up the torso to the left side. Hands adjust. Walking to the back. You could stay exactly there, or you could grab hold of the right foot with the left hand. And if you look to the back, you look to the back. If you feel something else is more comfortable, that's fine as well. If you want to drop your chin gently towards your shoulder or collarbone, that's one option of very many options. And remember, just because I'm holding onto the foot doesn't mean you have to. That leg long might just be the more appropriate posture for you. And how much you're twisting is also up to you. And slowly come back to the front. Pushing the hands into the ground to straighten the spine, maybe even arching a little bit and looking up. Again, needs to work for you. And then right leg comes to the front, to the outside of that left leg. We wiggle around a little bit. A bit like a cup and saucer. You can rest your buttocks in your butt cheek in your left heel, or left foot, sole of the foot. And then twist, opening up the torso to the right side, maybe binding. So I'm just showing on that side because it's easier to see on that side. But of course, you don't need to come into a bind. Same posture if you don't have the bind. Same posture if you wrap that left arm around your right leg. So from the inside of the right leg. Nothing at all wrong with that. And yoga is not about how flexible you are. It's hard to forget that when we see people who teach it, and they're maybe quite flexible. Maybe that's why they wanted to teach yoga, because they were naturally good at it. And in my case, I learned when I was 4 and I never stopped. So I never gave my body the chance to seize up. I was lucky enough not to have many desk jobs in my life, hooray. So there was never that option. That has advantages and disadvantages as well. One of them is that I sometimes am maybe not the best person to talk about how someone can adapt postures, but I think I'm maybe quite good at it by now, after many years of teaching. Release and bring your hands to the ground behind you, so over to the other side, just dropping down for a moment, and then coming back to the front, sending your, your right leg to the front this time, and left foot to the front, because we're coming onto the back now. We're almost at the end, not quite yet. Hug the knees in, move into your ankles, move into your toes. Maybe they need that little bit of movement. And then from here, right knee on top of the left. Turn your head to the right side, drop your knees to the left. Again, you could do that thing with the hips, where the hips move a little bit further to the right side of the mat as well. Just to deepen that twist a little bit. But again, it's a nice and gentle twist to cool us down, to make us relax, to make us focus fully on the breath and how we can feel it, where we can feel it. And ultimately, that long hold, yes, it is for the physical body. It is to strengthen more, adequately, and to stretch more adequately, more effectively. But it's also to let us really arrive in the posture. Stillness in a posture ultimately means stillness comes over the mind. And that's what Patanjali in the Yoga Sutras described as yogas chitta vritti nirodha. So yoga is the stilling of mental fluctuations. And that can happen through posture. It doesn't have to have anything to do with postures. Release and change sides, left knee over the right. Drop the knees to the right side, turn your head to the left. If your eyes aren't closed already, now is a very good time to close them. And just relax and release. You want to feel softness in your body. Not feeling like you're still controlling the posture, pressing down very hard. Just be where you are and soften into your breath and soften into the posture. As if you're falling asleep. And stilling of mental fluctuations, I'm sure you know, can happen through meditation, can happen through reading things. For example, the scriptures. It can happen through repeating a mantra over and over and over again. It can happen through devotion to a deity, right? So all of these things are designed to still your mind. And that is the aim in yoga. That is what causes this lasting change in the architecture of the brain that lets you release all the things that you don't need. Amongst them, not just your ego, but the idea of self and identity that we've constructed as well. Slowly release and hug the knees in towards you. Maybe raising the head if it feels like you need a little bit more for the back. And then slowly stretch out on your mat and come into shavasana. Shavasana, the corpse pose, where we really become dead weight. Toes turn out to the sides. Space for the arms and legs to stretch out. Not too close together. And feel the breath. So outwardly we're completely still, like that corpse that is sometimes symbolized by Shakti, the vessel that holds the spirit, that holds Shiva essentially, that other energy. It's mind and matter. Start moving into your fingers and toes. Shakti is waking up as well. And we stretch out on the mat, bring the feet to the ground, knees high, gently drop the knees from side to side. And then come onto the right side of your body. Slowly up to seated. Eyes can stay closed. Move gently into the neck, into the shoulders, into any last part of the body that needs it. Feel your breath. Breathe in and sigh out. And then rub your hands together and place the palms over your face. While you're there, open the eyes slowly and bring the hands to the heart center. Thank you so much for joining.